Complete mayhem on the streets of Shimla as thousands stage protest against illegal structure.
Call themselves as leaders in India, and they move around with anti-India elements abroad and then speak against India. They spell out venom against the interest of India.
Meanwhile, BJP hits out at Rahul. Gandhi calls his meet with Ilhan Omar an attempt to divide India.
जल्द से जल्द इंडिया आना चाहिए और पूरे सिख समाज से माफी मांगनी चाहिए कि जो इन्होंने बोला वो गलत था.
Anger against Rahul's subversive remarks. Sikh community stage protest against Rahul, demands his apology. Bangladesh interim government, caretaker government's Mohammad Yunus's bluff is called out as innocent victims of persecution speak out against the atrocities.
Presented by Royal Global University, Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Well, in fact, we're starting with some more breaking news now coming in. A story that we have brought to the limelight. What's really happening in Manipur? In fact, ladies and gentlemen, from drone attacks to rockets being fired, now protests taking place outside Raj Bhavan. Was there a foreign hand? Were there certain elements that were working against the state? It turns out that the foreign hand in the students' protest, as well as the protests that have been taking place in other places, have essentially indicated that there are antisocial elements, and this is something that the Manipur police has now come on record. Certain weaponry was also recovered by the Manipur police. Here is an exclusive report coming in from Imphal, and then we go to our top story coming in from Bangladesh.
Public TV reported last evening itself that the students' protest were hijacked. Several antisocial elements entered the students' protest and they tried to hijack the students' protest for their vested interest. And today, the Manipur Police Conference has come on record with all the evidence of the weapons, indigenous weapons that were used in the students' protest. Here you can see this one is a petrol bomb, these are slingshots, and these are marbles, stones, and even iron pebbles were also used. These are iron pieces. You can see if used with a slingshot, but if you use a slingshot with an iron, then it can turn into a projectile which can gain a speed that can easily be achieved by any bullet. So this can turn into a bullet if it is targeted with a slingshot like this one. This can turn into a bullet, and these are the instruments which were used last evening and also day before yesterday in the violent protest that we witnessed in the streets of Imphal. It may be mentioned that today Minister Govindas Kantozam has exclusively spoken to Republic Media Network, where he also confirmed the involvement of various political groups and one particular national political party which had tried to influence the students' protest for their own benefit. And today the police have come on record saying that there was external involvement in the students' protest, and police is now investigating the case. A case has been registered and all the involvement of various groups, various parties are being looked into.
We have also observing the situation since the day before yesterday. Honorable Chief Minister is very concerned about it, and from different sources it has been noticed that, as you have rightly mentioned, that some national party and some regional parties are deeply involved in instigating the peaceful rally organized by the different student bodies in the state of Manipur. They wanted to hijack the peaceful rally by a few people, few volunteers, I should say, few volunteers who are the front runner of the National Party, and the workers in the last 18 Lok Sabha election also.
Ladies and gentlemen, early this afternoon, there was chaos on the streets of Shimla. The reason being an illegal structure, because of which Hindu groups have been protesting. A call was actually given back on Saturday that protest will take place, hoping that action should be taken. But what we essentially saw was a major escalation between the protesters and the Himachal Pradesh police. Joining us is Minister Vikramaditya Singh. Minister Singh, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, isn't this a failure on the part of the state government because you have the Hindu group already calling for the protest on Saturday? Was there an attempt made by your government to perhaps bring them on the negotiating table?
This is not a failure, rather this is a proactive approach that the government has taken. And the way this protest has been handled with heavy police presence on the area shows that the government will not tolerate any compromise with the law and order situation. There have been efforts by the government to have constant dialogues with the people who wanted to protest, but because it is a democratic right of everybody in this country to protest and the government cannot stop that, so that was done. But there were ample measures taken from the side of the government, the administration and the police to ensure that law and order situation should not deteriorate in Himachal Pradesh.
Minister Singh, I believe that being part of the government, it is your job to perhaps safeguard or defend the action of the police. But I want you to perhaps see these images. I'm hoping that you've seen this, because what we saw this afternoon doesn't really match the statement that you're making right now. What I witnessed from the newsroom of Republic TV was this, that there was a major escalation, the fact that police officers were also injured, the fact that you have had some of the protesters on the road, clearly a situation where barricades were broken, 2 sets of barricades were already broken. They were almost few meters away from the illegal structure. So, Minister, how exactly are you saying that this was a job well done?
No, so what else do you expect? There was police on the police on the premises. Every preventive measure was taken, and water cannon was used on the protesting people. And the Chief Minister went to the extent of saying that everybody has a peaceful right to protest. You cannot stop anybody from protesting, and it is not the first time in the country that a protest has happened. It happens in every part of the country for one reason or the other. Yes, these images that you are showing with large number of people, these are shown on a number of occasions from every part of the country, whether it is Manipur, whether it is in Delhi, or whether it is any other part of the country. But by the end of it,
are you justifying the use of force? Minister Singh, are you also justifying the use of force that the police had to resort to lathi charge?
There was stone pelting from the protesters, and because of that there was mild lathi charge from the side of the police. This is a very common thing which happens in every protest all through the country. Water cannons and lathi charge are the force that the police uses in any protest all through the country. This is not the first time it has happened, but we have to maintain the larger law and order condition in the country, in the state. That is the job of the government.
As I understand, our reporters on the ground, this is what they had to say. You had 2 levels of barricades which were broken. There was a high possibility, or perhaps you had the opportunity of blocking the protest at the tunnel itself. But it went way beyond that. That could also be because there were no attempts made by your government to at least bring the protesting groups on the negotiating table and avoid the protest in the first place itself, because as I understand, the matter is sub judice.
No, we have tried to speak to them. We have tried to bring them on the negotiation table. But ultimately, it depends upon these people. If they want to have this symbolic protest, you cannot stop anybody. And I would like to remind you again that this is not the first time this kind of protest is happening in any part of the country. It is a very usual process. Lathi charge and water cannon happens in every protest all through the country. You see these kind of visuals every second day in Delhi, in the national capital. So yes, it has been played out for the first time in Himachal Pradesh and in Shimla. I agree to that. But yes, the government and the police has taken a firm stand on it. We don't want that the deterioration of law and order should happen in the state. But at the same time, as far as the legality of the structure is concerned, as you rightly said, that this matter is sub judice, whatever the decision of the court is, accordingly, the government will take a call in the times to come. But we will not allow anybody, for that matter, to deteriorate the law and order condition in the state. And nobody, for that matter, is above the law.
Minister Singh, would you not admit that your party colleague is equally responsible for triggering the situation? Had it not been for the statement that was made and the statement in the manner it was made by your party colleague, perhaps we would not have seen the situation like this. And you yourself are admitting that this has not happened in the past. We can't perhaps even remember the last when such kind of protests have actually taken place in Himachal Pradesh. So who exactly is to be blamed for it? Shouldn't it be your party colleague?
No, I don't see it that way. There are sentiments of the people, and this structure that is in question today. The legality of this structure and the case has been going on in the municipal committee and the municipal corporation for the last 10 years. There have been successive governments. The BJP government was there in the last 5 years, headed by Jairam Thakurji. When this structure actually came up, this was built during the COVID period when BJP was in power in the state. So today, why aren't they answerable towards it? We are taking every preventive measure, and we have gone to the extent of saying that if tomorrow this structure is found to be invalid or there are some shortcomings in it, so action will be taken according to the law. We have gone to that extent. For the sake of the communal harmony in the state. So what else do you expect the government to do? But yes, as far as the alleged high-handedness that you're talking about, the police will do its job. The police will use coercive measures, will use soft measures so that the law and order situation does not deteriorate, and that is what rightly the police has done today.
Minister Singh, the other issue being that we are not talking about an isolated illegal structure. A short while back, there was few protesters with whom we spoke to. They say that there are several other illegal structures in that very area. I want to understand your position on this entire matter. Are you in favor of demolition of illegal encroached structures?
See, it is not about me as an individual. It is the government which has to take a call. And let me tell you that in Shimla alone, there are around 4,500 illegal structures built over the period of time. And this story is not only limited to Shimla. It is in Himachal Pradesh and all through the country that over the period of time, structures have been built or part of it has been built which have not been approved by the municipal committee or the municipal corporation. But yes, in this particular case, it has been highlighted because of the reasons that you know better than me. But yes, we are very sensitive towards the sentiments of the people. We are very sensitive toward the sentiments of the people of the state, and due action will be taken, as I have repeatedly said, but everything will be done in accordance with the law, because
I'm running out of time, Minister Singh, but I just want a quick word.
And the rule of the municipal corporation in this particular case is beyond and above everybody else.
Just a quick word from you, Minister Singh. Will you be reaching out to the protesting groups? Is there a message that your government would be sending out to them? Because what we see right now is extremely, perhaps a big cause of concern for many of us who are watching this from the national capital.
100%. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but I want to assure you, and I want to assure through your channel, that we are open for all kind of dialogues. We are open for all kind of negotiations. We want to bring everybody on the dialogue table and solve this matter amicably. We should not do any kind of politics over it. I even appeal to the members of the opposition party that this is a very sensitive issue. This is regarding the integrity of the state and the harmony of the state, and for that everybody has to come on board and an amicable solution has to be found so that the larger tranquility, the peace in the state is not disturbed at any cost. That is my humble appeal through your channel to the people of state and to the people of the nation also.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Singh, and you were speaking to Shavan Sen for your future reference, but thank you very much for putting this into perspective and hoping that the government will also be able to bring this under control. Thank you very much. Moving on to the other big story that we're getting to you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on This Is Exclusive, we come to you with proof. And this proof is something that we want Mohammed Yunus to perhaps watch. Just about 6 days ago, you've had the caretaker government in Bangladesh saying that, look here, the attacks that have taken place on the Hindus are completely exaggerated in nature. In fact, several minority groups operating out of Bangladesh have clearly documented the attacks that have taken place against the minorities, particularly in districts like Chittagong and several other places. The effort that we are making tonight is to reach out to those Hindus who have been persecuted, who are essentially fearful of the current situation in Dhaka and several other places. In a short while from now, we'll essentially be joined by those victims. We are not taking the name of those who have been persecuted. We are not even revealing their identity, because remember, it is they who are now being threatened, and the fact that their voices haven't been even heard. In fact, there are a few districts where this has taken place. I want to first begin by asking you, what really happened just about a few days ago in your area when a Hindu deity was being taken to the pandal, and the kind of atrocities that you have seen over the last few days? Help us understand, narrate what you have seen.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
I just don't want you to reveal your name.
Sir, actually,
I just don't want you to reveal your name. Don't reveal your name. All that I want you to is narrate what you have gone through.
Okay, sir. Sir, as for you know, after escaping our former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, there were a huge number of communal attacks happening in our whole country, around the whole country. I am in Borishal district. Here, there are a number of communal attacks in our Hindu families. Besides of my village, some Hindu communities were directly victimed by the fundamental Islamic terrorists. Their houses was destroyed. Their properties was taken by the groups. And the major abominable thing is their daughters were abused in front of her mother. I have no word to express how much abominable it was. And one more thing, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay. And one more thing, sir, I can add you. On 5th August night, some local Hindus and Muslims, entirely good Muslims, were set up a local protection guard who protect our Hindu communities until now in every single night. And we don't know how it will stop and when the country was peaceful for the Hindu communities.
I also understand that you have with you.
We are so much afraid. There was no law. The police don't take our case. There was no BD army. There was
Can
no
you tell
justice.
Can you tell me how many such incidents have taken place in the last 30 to 40 days?
Sir, actually, in our communities, actually in our villages, as far 50 or 60 incidents that was clearly communal, not political. I repeat, that was clearly communal, not political. The Hindus was not involved. Those Hindus were not involved in the political parties, but they are attacked. Their houses, their properties, as well as their daughters was abused by the fundamental groups.
I also believe that you have with you someone who is a victim,
yes,
someone who has witnessed the atrocity firsthand. Why don't you speak to her and perhaps also help us understand what the person had to go through?
Okay, sir.
আমি একজন বাংলাদেশী সনাতনী, আমার একটি অফিস গৃহ আছে, আমি একজন গ্রাম্য শিক্ষক।
Sir, he told that he was a Bangladeshi Sanatani village teacher.
আমার একটি সমিতি একটি অফিস ছিল, সেটি ওই দিন রাত্রে 5ই আগস্ট।
He had an office room in this village where he lived.
ভেঙে চুরে চুরমার করে লুটপাট করে নিয়ে যায়।
On 5th August midnight, his office room was attacked by the fundamental groups.
আমি কয়েকদিন আত্মগোপনে ছিলাম আমার পরিবার পরিজন নিয়ে।
He left his own houses with his family members because the fundamental groups threatened him and his family as well as.
এর কোনো প্রতিকার বা কোনো বিচার আমি পাইনি।
There was no justice for this incident. Sir, actually there are a huge number of incidents like it.
Well, I'll also request you to stay on with us. We have another student who's joining us from Bangladesh. In fact, over the last few days, we have been in touch with him to actually find out what's really happening on the ground, because for the longest time, ladies and gentlemen, Mohammed Yunus and his government has only been trying to whitewash the atrocities that have been committed by Islamic fundamentalists, radicals who have been operating there. And now they blame India for carrying out this kind of a narrative. I'm told that he's also joined us on this broadcast. Shabal Ghosh, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. I want you to help us understand what is it that you witnessed over the last few days, because the government in Bangladesh wants the world to believe that Hindus are not being targeted. Is that correct?
Actually, it's a political view that someone will try to establish that at least minorities are not getting harmed by the nation. It's a beneficial thought for them, but I don't think that happens in any time under any government of Bangladesh. It was always there that Hindus, the people who lives beside the mountain, that kind of area people, they are also the in the minorism. And in every internal works or internal incident those happens in Bangladesh, breaking Hindus' temple, harming peoples, robbing them, it just became modern violence. It was a ancient violence before, but it was always been there. It's still happening.
Shabal, just so that this is documented well, which are the areas from where this violence has been reported from? You are telling us, and I've also gone through certain reports that have come in from minority groups that are operating out of Bangladesh, that not just temples, there are other symbols of religion which are now being attacked. Just about a few days ago, a Ganesh Pandal which was attacked.
That is the more important thing. See, they didn't rob only Hindus' family or any Hindus' house or shops. They also broke. They are breaking the seasons, the dargahs. We call him in madrasa, and It's not only happening to Sheikh Mujib also. I mean, forget about Sheikh Mujib. There were some other intellectual people who did a tremendous contribution in this country, but still their monument also been broken.
Well, Shaibal,
It's a very shame.
Well, Shaibal, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. We will be in touch with you for documenting the kind of atrocities that have been committed by the Islamic radicals in Bangladesh. That's all that we could pack. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with more exclusive stories.
ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ಮಿಟ್ಗಳ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲೇ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮೈಲುಗಲ್ಲು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ. ರಿಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಹಾಸಂಗಮ. ಇದು ಕನಸಿನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ದಿಗ್ಗಜರ ಸಮಾಗಮ ಅತಿ ಶೀಘ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ.
After extreme provocation in the United States, Rahul Gandhi meets anti-India American lawmaker Ilhan Omar.
Themselves as leaders in India, and they move around with anti-India elements abroad and then speak against India. They spell out venom against the interest of India.
Meanwhile, the BJP hits out at Rahul Gandhi, calls his meeting with Ilhan Omar an attempt to divide India. Anger against Rahul's subversive remarks on Sikhs. The community stages protests against him, demands apology. Complete mayhem on the streets of Shimla as thousands protest against the illegal constructions. And mass uprising against Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. A cornered Bengal Chief Minister now calls for talks. Anti-terror operations in full swing in Jammu's Udhampur. 2 Jaish commanders neutralized. Viewers, just today after triggering a massive row back home with this claim that the Sikhs were struggling to flaunt their religious identity in India, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has now stoked a fresh controversy after he was pictured with the known India baiter and pro-Pakistani American leader Ilhan Omar during his ongoing 3-day visit to the United States. Now, the BJP lost no time in taking pot shots at the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, asking if it was okay to engage with radical anti-India elements. Watch this report to know the latest.
The fight is about whether he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear his turban in India.
After stoking Sikh fury back home, claiming that the community was struggling for identity in India, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has lurched into a fresh controversy. Rahul was pictured with American politician and known India baiter Ilhan Omar during his ongoing 3-day visit to the United States. A member of the US House of Representatives from Minnesota's 5th Congressional District, the Hindu-phobic Omar has been in the news with her anti-India statements and pro-Pakistan stance. Coming out all guns blazing against the Congress leader, the BJP has questioned if it was okay to wine and dine with India baiters in the name of opposing the party.
Well, meeting with Ilhan Omar is further to what he said yesterday. Is again not in isolation. He's trying to create some sort of dissent in the country using all these people as tool. Since Ilhan Omar has taken a stand against abrogation of 370 and 35A, he has been vocal against India and has brought a lot of resolution in US Assembly also. So this is what Rahul Gandhi is doing.
तो मुझे लगता है कि आज राहुल गांधी को केवल विदेशी धरती पर जाकर भारत के खिलाफ जहर उगलने के बदले, सिखों के खिलाफ जहर उगलने के बदले, आरक्षण समाप्त करने की बात करने के बदले, इल्हान उमर जैसे भारत विरोधी तत्वों से मिलने के बदले, आज उनको सच में भारत जोड़ो की अगर मंशा है तो एनसी से बोले कि 370 छोड़ो और भारत जोड़ो.
With Rahul going off on an anti-India tangent with his words and actions in the US, the big question is, how much is too much?
And we have breaking news coming in right now, viewers. We have accessed Rahul Gandhi's conversation with US Congress leader in Washington, D.C. And we are learning that in the meeting, Rahul Gandhi peddled an anti-India narrative and said that minorities are in danger in India. He also said that freezing accounts of Congress leaders in India is nothing but an attack on democracy. That's what he said while he was meeting Ilhan Omar in Washington, D.C. Democracy in danger, pitch on foreign soil. That's what Rahul Gandhi is peddling. on his foreign visit. My colleague Abhishek Kapoor, senior executive editor, joins us on the broadcast for more. Now, Abhishek, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha is acting in opposition to the country. He is discussing the same political agendas that he has when there are elections in India with a US lawmaker who's known to undermine India's interests.
Well, Rakshita, we are getting this information from our sources there in the United States. And of all those people present in the room, one of the persons I spoke to mentioned the series of events essentially pieced together for us the meeting that Rahul Gandhi had with these congressmen and congresswomen, which included Ilhan Omar. Now, for the first up, Rahul Gandhi did not object to Ilhan Omar coming. Given the very clear anti-India positions that Ilhan Omar has taken not once, twice, but maybe half a dozen times, Rahul Gandhi could have said that he would be meeting all these leaders except for Ilhan Omar. Having said that, once she was there in the meeting, Rahul Gandhi did not object. Rahul Gandhi did not tell her that he disagrees in any manner with the kind of positions she has taken. You know, even if he were to be partisan, he could have said that except for your boycott of Narendra Modi, I disagree with you on everything. You cannot go to Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. You cannot make the US State Department, act against India and designate it as a country of particular concern. You cannot pass a resolution in the country, in the US Congress, which makes India look bad. He did nothing like that. He had a normal conversation with the entire US Congress delegation there in Washington, D.C. And in fact, his pitch was that democracy is really struggling in India, that it's in dire straits, that minorities are in danger, that he could have won, but for the manner in which the accounts of the Congress party were freezed, that they were really hung up for money, and had they had the money which was there in their accounts, it's likely that the Congress could have won this election itself. So that was the pitch Rahul Gandhi made. Democracy in danger, minorities in danger, and as I mentioned, did not object at all to the presence of Ilhan Omar, or for that matter, when he faced her, did not object to the very clear anti-India positions she has been taking. This is, I can say, an eyewitness account, and that's what we are getting to hear from sources. Rahul Gandhi continuing with his anti-India narrative building project, where in the presence of US Congress delegation, he has presented a picture as if democracy is completely compromised in India.
Absolutely, of course, the democracy in danger continues as he also, takes charge as the leader of opposition after the same election that he continues to question. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining us with those details coming in, that inside detail, viewers, of that meeting that Rahul Gandhi had with Ilhan Omar. Now, viewers, he continues with his vicious anti-India rants on foreign soil. Rahul Gandhi did not just speak about Sikhs, the divisive claims that he has made, divisive statements on Sikhs, but he's also now invoked China once again to take a swipe at the centre against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and holding centre stage at an interactive event at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., Rahul Gandhi now came up with another shocker, claiming that Chinese troops are occupying Indian territory of the size of Delhi in Ladakh. And the remark has now drawn a sharp rebuttal from the BJP, with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah saying that Rahul Gandhi has developed a habit of standing with the anti-India forces. Take a look at this report to know more.
Rahul's motor mouth landed him in a soup again, as the Congress leader claimed significant Chinese ingress into the Indian mainland. Speaking at an event at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., the Congress leader claimed Chinese troops were occupying Indian territory of the size of Delhi in Ladakh.
If you call having Chinese troops in 4,000 square kilometers of our territory handling something well, then maybe. We've got Chinese troops occupying land the size of Delhi in Ladakh. I think that's a disaster.
Not done needling the centre on China, Rahul accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of messing up ties with India's eastern neighbour. Striking back with a fiery response, BJP accused the Congress leader of being in cahoots with anti-India forces. Leading the attack on Rahul, Union Home Minister Amit Shah accused him of threatening the country's security and sovereignty with his divisive remarks. Union Minister Piyush Goyal accused the Congress leader of using foreign soil to defame the country.
Become a fake news and propaganda machine against India and all Indians.
Former Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar accused Rahul Gandhi of deepening fault lines in communities and creating a misleading narrative of haves and have-nots in the country.
I think what the Congress party under Rahul Gandhi think that they have perfected is to take the fault lines in our society that existed prior to 2014, communal fault lines, caste fault lines, economic fault lines. Not one thing he has said which is positive about India or about the future of Indians.
As Rahul continues his anti-India tirade on US soil, the larger question is, what piece of evidence does he have to back his China claim, and why would he try to weaken the morale of our forces as they continue to defend the borders on the Eastern Front?
Unrelenting protests, junior doctors refuse to back down. Did Mamta's police break protocol? Battle for justice continues. Was there a cover-up? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
I want to raise an issue before you, a matter of great concern that we must all keep in mind and come together as a nation for. Dear viewers of Republic, supporters of Republic, 24 million Indians use the Indian Railways every single day. Approximately 400 million Indians take the trains of the Indian Railways every month. Just for the summer season this year, the Indian Railways recorded 9,000 plus train journeys. Parts of it which have come on record, but large parts of it which remain unsaid. The Kalindi Express almost derailed near Kanpur last night. If not for the fantastic, brave loco pilot who intervened with approximately 1,500 people on board, it would have been a terrible, terrible incident. And I say so because I'm tired of hearing the word train accident. An accident is that which is not deliberate. But the tracks had a cylinder. I want to run the pictures. In the midst of it, there was a bottle placed strategically filled with petrol right near the tracks, adjacent to which there was a sweet box laden with explosives. So tonight I say this is no train accident averted. This is a train attack averted. The triple redundancy factor of the attack, where if the cylinder fails, the petrol will set it ablaze, and to top it off, a box full of explosives, ensuring maximum immediate impact and damage. I say, let's probe it officially as a terrorist attack. And I say so responsibly, because it cannot be a series of coincidences that have been going on. That there have been at least 3 more instances of cylinders being planted on train tracks in the last 3 months. The sad thing is that some opposition parties only look at these incidents and use it as an opportunity to target the Minister of Railways, to target the government, to target the Modi government. They don't want to look at the reality. They won't talk about it. If our nation is under attack, if attempts that groups that want to balkanize the country are placing the country under attack, and if they are targeting the Indian Railways, which unites the country, for God's sake, let's come together and understand what's going on. It cannot be a coincidence that on July 16th, a YouTuber was arrested in Bhiwani for placing a cylinder on the railway track. On the 1st of August, another individual was arrested in Lucknow division after a gas cylinder and a bicycle was placed on the tracks to derail a train. On the 2nd of August, another case was registered by the police for a cylinder on the track, amongst other sharp objects. This is not a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence that in the span of exactly 1 month, August 8th to September 8th, the tracks near Nagpur specifically have seen two separate conspiracies to derail trains. Imagine, viewers, for those running the Indian Railways, for the Union Minister, for the government, what a worry it will be, but what a responsibility it also is. What should we do at a time like this? We should all come together. We should support all those who are working day and night to keep.
Viewers, as the protesting junior doctors of Kolkata continue to hold their vigil on the streets for Dr. Abhaya, spurning the state's offer for dialogue, your channel now has accessed fresh documents showing how the Mamata government violated its standard operating procedure to conduct her post-mortem and inquest in haste. Republic is in possession of a memo by the State Health Department in 2020 stating explicitly that only a senior police officer of the rank of an SP or DC can request for a post-mortem beyond 4 p.m. and the same has to be approved by the principal or superintendent of the hospital concerned. Now, Republic earlier put out a damning letter written by a sub-inspector of the police station on the day of the RG Kaur rape and murder incident, asking a top forensic official to conduct the post-mortem after 4 p.m. It's a clear violation of the standard operating procedure. Here's more in the story.
After the mega news break on how the police sought and express conduct of Abhaya's post-mortem and inquest, your channel has landed another piece of evidence to nail the state's complicity in the case. Republic has accessed a memo issued by Health Minister Mamata Banerjee in 2020 stating in as many words that any request for a post-mortem after 4 p.m. has to come from an officer of the rank of SP and DC. The memo lays out a detailed standard operating procedure saying that any such request for a post-mortem has to be approved by the principal or the superintendent of the hospital concerned. In an earlier news break, your channel showed a letter exclusively accessed where a sub-inspector of Tala police station is asking for Abhaya's post-mortem to be conducted after 4 p.m. The letter drafted and sent on August 9th, the day after the barbaric rape and murder at RG Kaur, was addressed to a forensic official. The letter also significantly mentioned some urgent issues because of which the post-mortem had to be conducted after 4 p.m. The memo lays bare the state's complicity in ensuring that the post-mortem in the RG Kaur case was conducted in a hurry. Meanwhile, Abhaya's father joined the sit-in protest by junior doctors outside Swasthya Bhavan overnight, saying he wouldn't have approached the CBI if he was happy with the probe into his daughter's death.
जैसे उन्होंने 3 दिन के बाद पुलिस का आदमी हमारा पास गया था, उन्होंने एक संजय राय को खड़ा करके बोल रहा था ये हम पकड़ लिया, सब काम खत्म हो गया, हम फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में उठा देगा और उसको फांसी दिला देगा। यही इसलिए तो हमको, लेकिन मेरा लड़की का साथ जो घटना घटी है, एक आदमी का कोई संभव नहीं था और हम पहले से बोल रहा है डिपार्टमेंट का आदमी इसका अंदर युक्त है।
With another smoking gun in the RG Kaur case coming to the surface, can Mamata dodge the latest clincher?
And that's all we could pack in this edition of Live and Breaking. But on the other side, it's the debate with my colleague Shaban Sen.
Unrelenting protests, junior doctors refuse to back down. Did Mamata's police break protocol? Battle for justice continues. Was there a cover-up? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for?
What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked. And
sheets on seat sharing policies with your alliance partner, which was Mamata Banerjee's TMC. You also have alliance partners like the Hindutva-based Shiv Sena UBT. My question is, if elected, how will you effectively run a government with such a divided coalition that cannot seem to agree on anything except for the removal of Prime Minister Modi?
no, actually we agree on a lot. We agree that the Constitution of India should be defended. Most of us agree on the idea of the caste census. We agree that two business people, namely Mr. Adani and Mr. Ambani, shouldn't run every single business in India. So for you to say that we don't agree, I think is inaccurate. Second thing is that all coalitions are negotiations, right? So a certain amount of to and fro will always take place. That is perfectly natural. There's nothing wrong with it. And we have run governments again and again which have been successful using coalitions. So we're pretty confident that we can do it again.
Thank you.
And actually, I think if we get it right, we would, sorry, it's not India Alliance. That's a BJP framing. It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for? What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked. And it was very successful. And generally the BJP people say India Alliance, but everyone else in India says India Alliance. It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for? What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked.
Hindus under attack in Bangladesh. Bangladesh interim government under fire over new diktat. Are religious freedoms of Bangladesh Hindus under threat? Debating tonight at 8:30 p.m.
Directive, the taste of success.
It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for? What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked. And
sheets on seat sharing policies with your alliance partner, which was Mamata Banerjee's TMC. You also have alliance partners like the Hindutva-based Shiv Sena UBT. My question is, if elected, how will you effectively run a government with such a divided coalition that cannot seem to agree on anything except for the removal of Prime Minister Modi?
No, actually we agree on a lot. We agree that the Constitution of India should be defended. Most of us agree on the idea of the caste census. We agree that two business people, namely Mr. Adani and Mr. Ambani, shouldn't run every single business in India. So for you to say that we don't agree, I think is inaccurate. Second thing is that all coalitions are negotiations, right? So a certain amount of to and fro will always take place. That is perfectly natural. There's nothing wrong with it. And we have run governments again and again which have been successful using coalitions. So we're pretty confident that we can do it again.
Thank you.
And actually, I think if we get it right, we would, it's not India Alliance. That's a BJP framing. It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for? What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India Alliance?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked. And it was very successful. And generally the BJP people say India Alliance, but everyone else in India says India Alliance. It's India Alliance.
What's the last word stand for? What does the A stand
Alliance.
for at the end? So wouldn't it be redundant to say India Alliance?
No, it's not. Because it's not. Because the whole idea of the alliance was to put across to the people of India that India is being attacked.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic. From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Welcome you watching the debate with me, Shavinson. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm filling in for Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami, who will be back tomorrow at the same time. But tonight, we have a power-packed edition of the debate with 3 debates lined up for you. Starting at 8 p.m. tonight is that big question that we are asking. 33 days on, protests still continue in Kolkata. What's the reason behind it? Why exactly are the doctors on the street, and not just doctors, but people from different walks of life still questioning Mamata government? Is there a cover-up? That's the operation expose that we are going to do tonight of what exactly has happened in the investigation that has been carried out. That's our debate number 1. And then we also take you through the other big question that comes up with regards to our situation in Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about how exactly Muhammad Yunus, the poster boy of the West, is essentially once again trying to downplay the condition of Hindus in Bangladesh by simply saying that this is a narrative that has been built by India. That's debate number 2. And at 9 p.m., once again, Rahul Gandhi has come up with multiple bizarre statements. That's what has been the highlight of the first 2 days of his visit to the United States of America. But this time, he seems to have crossed the line, meeting a known India hater, Congresswoman who has been against India. And you have Rahul Gandhi sitting with the Congresswoman and talking about democracy being in danger in India. That's debate number 3 at 9 p.m. with Abhishek Kapoor. But let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking this up. Cover up after cover up. Another letter accessed by Republic Bangla shows how a special plea was made to conduct post-mortem after 4 o'clock in the evening. The evidence against Mamata Banerjee and her police is just piling up in the Abhaya rape and murder case. Cornered, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, is facing mass uprising. She has called for talks with doctors, but she has gotten too comfortable to see the ground reality. The doctors have placed 4 demands before Mamata. Doctors are saying to Mamata, conditions applied, Ms. Chief Minister. Rahul Gandhi's intentions are now more questionable than ever. Day after extreme provocation, the leader of opposition in the United States towed the anti-India stand as he met Ilhan Omar, a US congresswoman who spews venom against India, who is well known for her anti-India tirade. After targeted attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus government issues decree for Hindus ahead of Durga Puja, ordering the puja committees to turn off Durga Puja rituals and sound systems 5 minutes before the azaan and namaz. Rahul Gandhi's intentions are now more questionable than ever. Day after extreme provocation, the leader of opposition in the United States toes anti-India stand as he met Ilhan Omar, a US congresswoman who spews venom against India, who is well known for her anti-India tirade. Ladies and gentlemen, more than 33 days have already passed since the Abhaya case, one that has shaken the very conscience of the entire nation. 33 days have lapsed, but if you walk tonight on the streets of Kolkata, the outrage is still at display. The protesters have not relented, and there is only one reason for this, ladies and gentlemen: the stark lapses in the investigation that has been conducted by the Kolkata police that stare back at us, haunts us. We have been investigating the probe in the alleged cover-up bid in the Abhaya case since the start. And every single day we find a new piece in the puzzle that points towards a new lapse. So much so that today, over a month since the crime took place, it is very important for all of us to go back and trace all the unanswered questions in the case. Because we must question the lapses that took place in this case in the crucial initial stages that have set the trajectory of the rest of the investigation in a certain direction. We must all remember the great lengths to which the same Kolkata police has tirelessly worked to defend the indefensible and has not addressed a single question asked on their probe with a fact. The consequence of Kolkata police's actions are such, be it the deafening silence of Kolkata's Commissioner of Police, Vineet Goyal, who is perceived to be protected by the state, to Sandeep Ghosh. The government has gone to a great extent to shield him till the time the Central Bureau of Investigation actually stepped in. Now, what has happened as a result is that the people have lost their faith in the system. But the fight is far from over. And so tonight, once again, with all the evidence, statements, facts in the public domain revealed by our investigation team in the alleged cover-up bid in the Abhaya case, I stand before you asking the right questions one more time throughout the course of the next 30 minutes, because the Kolkata police must answer why. Why were unauthorized personnel allowed to be so close to the crime scene? And that too with purported videos even showing close aids of Sandeep Ghosh on the scene of the crime on the day when the crime took place. Kolkata police must answer why there was an unaccounted delay on the part of the police to reach the crime scene. They must answer why was the post-mortem delayed, and that too, it was conducted after a special plea that was made. And the exemption that was basically asked against the state's SOPs, violating not only the state norms, but also potentially violating the MHA norms in the process by conducting the post-mortem of the rape victim close to sunset. Kolkata police must answer why was the cremation of Abhaya carried out in a rushed manner, so much so that even the parents did not know who paid for the cremation. Kolkata police must answer why was the FIR registered after almost 14 hours of delay, something they had no answer to when the top court inquired about the same. The Kolkata police must answer why was the demolition ordered the very next day of the crime right next to the scene of crime, and whether Mamata's health ministry was complicit in this decision. Kolkata police must answer why there was no adequate security provided to secure the crime scene where the mob of 7,000 people marched on RG Kaur Hospital, which resulted in violence, destruction of evidence and disruption of the crime scene. Kolkata police must also answer why Sandeep Ghosh was not called for interrogation for 3 days since the start of this entire investigation, and whether there was an attempt to protect him. The list is long, ladies and gentlemen, but Republic won't relent. All that you have seen over the last few days is an attempt that has been made by the government to perhaps back the Kolkata police. But tonight we are back with more details of the lapses on the part of the Kolkata police, and simply by saying that the Central Bureau of Investigation has not revealed does not really absolve the role of the Kolkata police. Take a look at this report and then we begin the debate.
A stalemate situation in Bengal. On one hand, junior doctors have refused to meet the Chief Secretary of Bengal after the Chief Secretary replied to their mail saying that the government of West Bengal is ready to attend a 15-member delegation. On the other hand, the junior doctors are saying that the entire meeting will be and should be live streamed. The whole meeting will be addressed on specific 4 agendas: whether the government is ready to suspend, to remove the Director of Health Services, whether the government is ready to remove the Director of Medical Education, whether the government is ready to transfer the Police Commissioner Vineet Goel, and whether the show cause notice will be issued to the Health Secretary of Bengal.
Cover-up number 3. Abhaya's parents have claimed that their daughter was cremated in a hurry and without their permission. Listen in.
अंतिम संस्कार कराने में भी बहुत जल्दबाजी की गई।
बहुत जल्दबाजी, उधर 3 बॉडी था और जो स्लीप उधर जो रुपया देना पड़ता है शमशान घाट में, वो हम जाने के पहले ही वो सब हो गया।
किसने दिया?
हमको मालूम ही नहीं है कौन किया क्या किया।
और ये जल्दबाजी कौन कर रहा था?
पुलिस तो था। जितना टाइम मेरा लड़की का बॉडी चिल्ली में नहीं गया उस टाइम में पुलिस बहुत था। जब चिल्ली में चला गया सब पुलिस से भाग गया।
Cover up number 4. 5 days after the gory crime, armed group of people in the midst of the dark demolished the crime scene. Cover up number 5. Call details between Arjikar officials and cops show how there was an unaccounted delay for the police to reach the crime spot. Mass uprising against Mamta and her government is unstoppable. A cornered Mamta who invited junior doctors for talks is facing rebellion. Cover up after cover up. Mamta's 14-year-old rule in the state of Bengal is facing the biggest rebellion yet.
Well, Tausif, the question that many are still asking, which your government essentially is only trying to cover up, is this: that those who are not even authorized are now sending out a letter to the forensic department saying that the postmortem should be conducted, that too after 4 p.m. Just a reminder to the police that as per the norms, it should have been conducted before the sunset. Now tell me, I have already listed out at the beginning of the debate at least over a dozen lapses on the part of the police, and yet the Trinamool Congress government essentially feels the need to protect the police commissioner.
No, there's no question of protecting police commissioner. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself said in the press conference yesterday and day before that the commissioner of police had offered to resign twice to her, and she, for the reasons, as she herself said, that there are law and order situations, there is Durga Puja coming up, and there is going to be huge footfall on the streets of Calcutta.
Just a reminder, Abhaya's father also said the same. Abhaya's father actually ended up saying that today, when the entire state would have been celebrating Durga Puja, is plunging into complete sadness only because of the lack, only because of what has been on the streets of Kolkata today, inaction on the part of the police, and the fact that you have the same chief minister whom you're basically touting, saying the only woman chief minister who understands the sentiments of people. Is this how you really defend?
No, there's no question of defending. CBI is investigating the matter. CBI investigated for over a month, recorded so many statements, did a polygraph test of over a dozen people, and CBI has reached to the same conclusion.
I don't think so.
Which Kolkata
there is no conclusion. I don't know I don't understand where is it that you're getting the information that the CBI has come to any conclusion, but Dr. Mondal, who's joining us on this broadcast,
yesterday, that only one.
You must hear, Tausif.
CBI has sent him to judicial custody. CBI does not.
Judicial custody does not really indicate. Judicial custody certainly does not indicate that they have come to any sort of conclusion. Tausif, unfortunately,
gang rape allegation is still not proven by
Trinesh
CBI.
Mondal.
The CBI, neither the Supreme Court suggested.
So why exactly do you think? Why exactly do you think Dr. Trinesh Mondal and others? Now, please tell me, outside Shastro Bhavan, you have young doctors like Dr. Trinesh Mondal protesting. They are demanding that justice should be provided. Dr. Trinesh Mondal, you've heard what Tausif has to say. Tausif says that the commissioner had already offered to resign. So it's because of Durga Puja, that is the reason why they're not resigning. But the fact of the matter is this, that there are lapses in the entire investigation. And that's becoming very, very clear.
I think I should clarify one thing. The Chief Minister said 1-2 days back that you have done movement for so long, now come back for the festive season. We have disheartened by her this statement, and we want to clarify that we still demanding those 5 demands which we have from the very first day. We want the justice for our sister Abhaya, who was brutally raped and murdered on 9th August.
No, but Tausif tells you, Dr. Mondal, that they have done enough. But Dr. Mondal, Tausif and the government of West Bengal says that they have done enough. They say that they have done everything that is possible to book those who are accountable.
Government has not done has not done enough. They had not does nothing till now.
Why? Because Tausif is not convinced. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is not convinced. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the entire party is saying that, look here, our stand is vindicated because the only person who should have been arrested has been arrested, and that's it. That's what the Chief Minister and her party has to say.
Till now, I want to clarify. Just one person has been arrested, and we have demanded that there may be some other persons. This type of brutal rape and murder can be done by many people. The Kolkata police primarily started the investigation.
Niladri.
Later on, CBI has.
Yes, Shravan.
Niladri, just two things. Niladri, do you have an answer to this? Do you have an answer to this? Niladri. You say that it's such a fantastic job that has been done by Kolkata police. Even the Scotland Yard would not have been able to do it. Because what has essentially happened is this. Between 9:30 when the body was actually found, when the call that was made by the hospital authorities to the outpost and then to Tala police station, there is a 40-minute mystery. That still we do not know. We still do not know what really happened between that 40 minutes. Do you have an answer to that?
I have an answer to that. While keeping our solidarity with the doctors and all the protesting people who are protesting on the streets as on date, my submission would be that the Calcutta police, even if you say that it has not done a fantastic job, has done its duty. A UD case was registered first. On the basis of the UD case, an inquest was held. On the basis of an inquest, following the SOP of the West Bengal government, since the postmortem could not have been done after 3 o'clock, a special permission was taken. It has to be taken either from the area DC or the principal of the college.
And who has written that letter? Now, just to Niladri, just let me also show you. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. 30
seconds more, Shravan.
I'll give you, while you make that point, let me show you the letter. Let me show you the letter, because you are saying that these are special provisions. These are special permissions that were taken, and perhaps they've gone a step further. Let me just show you the letter. The letter that was actually written was not even by an authorized officer, as per the protocol that the state should be following. Just take a closer look at this particular letter. This letter has been written by an officer. What you see on your screen is a letter that was written to the Forensic Medicine Department. They are saying that you should be conducting the postmortem after 4 p.m. These are special, there are special reasons for it. Now, due to some urgent matter and special issues, post-mortem inquest examination may kindly be conducted after 4 p.m. of the deceased. Now, let me also tell you one more thing. Is this actually allowed? No. I'll tell you, Niladri, why exactly this is not allowed. As per the SOP, which the state government is well aware of, you have an authorized officer to have written that.
Clause 12, Chapter 1.
Go ahead, Niladri.
The Clause 12, Chapter 1 clearly indicates that beyond the time limit of 3 p.m., if any postmortem has to be done, a special permission has to be accorded, and it has to be given, the letter has to be given to the Department of Forensic Science, because they are the conducting authority of the postmortem.
Now let me just tell you. Now, that's the problem. That's the problem. Why you should have just continued. You should have just continued a little further. And let me just, that's the problem. I'll read out the full thing, because people should know exactly this permission was supposed to be taken by whom. I'll tell you. As per clause number 12, Niladri, the request should come from the respective DC, SP, to be endorsed by the principal or the superintendent of the hospital. Autopsy works that are to be completed between 12 and 4 p.m. also, and if there are any special request, it should have gone in from the DC, SP, or endorsed by the principal or superintendent of the hospital. Let's go back to that letter. Who has sent that letter, Niladri? Why don't you see it? Why don't you read it out for our viewers? And tell me, is that the truth that you're telling me?
Why did you show the bottom right-hand corner?
I have shown that.
Why?
I will show you.
I
will show you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It has not been sent from an authorized.
This is forwarded. This is forwarded. Show the other side. If you show the other side, you'll see who has written the letter.
It is from the Tala police station.
No,
and who exactly has forwarded? OC.
Please show the right-hand
You have the OC. There you have it. You have it on your screens. That's the problem.
This is the left-hand side. This is the left-hand side. Please show the right-hand side of the letter.
I will show you the entire letter. I'll put it out for you to understand. Yes. And I have gone through it. Hence, I'm asking you. That's exactly the point.
Please.
Binay, as well as
show the
Legality.
right-hand side.
I will show you. I will show you. That's the exact reason why.
Forward in the letter.
I will play it out once again for you. Once again, don't worry. I read out clause number 12, which you deliberately omitted. You deliberately omitted clause number 12 because that's not the authorized officer. Binay, the fact of the matter is this, that you have at least a dozen lapses. And problem is this, that the moment you actually put out the facts, we do not know what happened in those 40 minutes. Please tell me, why exactly does it take the police over 30 minutes to reach the spot? When you reach the spot, it is an admission by the police themselves that for almost an hour, the scene of crime, it's not, Niladri, I have not said this. The police, in that circulated note to all journalists in Kolkata, by saying that, look here, the stuff that we have essentially done, they basically mentioned that for 1 hour, for almost an hour, Binay, that the scene of crime was completely left unattended.
Shravan, if you want to come to a conclusion regarding this case, so you must make a chart, delayed versus hurried. So in the delayed list, you will find police reaching the spot, it was delayed. Action taken, it was delayed. The reaction from the CM, come health minister, it was delayed. And what was hurried? The postmortem was hurried. The evidence, spot of the evidence, that was hurriedly destroyed. CBI has concluded the investigation according to our friend. That is also being hurried, that the CBI has concluded the investigation according to him. And so many things were hurried, not just the postmortem. So I think if you make a chart, what has been hurried and what is being delayed, so the intention of the state governments becomes very clear.
Tausif.
And it is really very dicey.
Tausif, I'm not asking this question, that when the FIR was registered 14 hours later, the Supreme Court also had to ask that question. Now, will you please tell me, why exactly do you think whitewashing this entire matter, whitewashing the lapses on the part of the Kolkata police is something that you all do it in a deliberate manner?
No, the deductions that you are making and charging
I'm not making
Kolkata
that.
police
I'm not making any deduction. I am simply stating. You have an answer to the facts. You tell me. Question number 1. The police was informed 2.5 hours after the body was found. Do you have anything else to say to that? Do you have anything to say?
No.
The parents have come on record. The parents have said this in the petition. The first call that went in from the RG Kar hospital was about that Abhaya was found dead and the fact that she had died by suicide. Your daughter died by suicide.
Look, I'll tell you. Supreme Court has never said that there is a cover-up.
What I am quoting the CGI. I am quoting the CGI. What is the reason why the FIR is lodged almost 14 hours after the discovery of the body? That is what the CGI say, quote unquote. Yes, then I'm going to tell you even more. The cremation that took place, on that also questions were basically raised about a challan that has actually gone missing. Yes, this is what the Supreme Court says. Supreme Court has flagged that a key document, challan required for the autopsy, was missing.
Look, yes,
and they say if this document is missing, then something is amiss. Tausif, it is not my words.
Yes, Supreme Court has said that.
Then
the Chief Justice has posed a query why the challan is missing. Now let me explain.
We will
what is called challan in North India? What is called challan in North India? In Kolkata police, it is called requisition, and requisition is already there.
Where is it?
It's just the different term which is used. And the clarification will be provided in the next hearing.
Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for the CBI, said that the document is not in the file given to us. Okay, fair enough. Nomenclature is the debate on the nomenclature. Okay, fair enough. Please tell me. Okay, for a minute, for the sake of argument, Tausif, let me accept it. Let me accept that the nomenclature is a problem. If the nomenclature is a problem, there is a file that was provided to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Why is it that the so-called requisition, which basically makes a mention of the nature in which the body was found, that is an important document, even the Supreme Court admits, that document was never given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. This is what the CBI is saying.
No, let CBI say whatever they want. Mr.
They've said that in the court.
Say that he will give it on 17th. We have handed over the entire case diary to the CBI.
Yes, in the next date of hearing, the query asked by the judge will be answered by the counsel appearing appearing for the state of West Bengal. See, today the
just
CBI
which part of my question you haven't understood. Now there is a file. Let me explain it to you.
Please understand why are we shifting the goalpost? The allegation was that this is a gang rape and Kolkata police is trying to cover up. But so many days have passed. More than a month has passed that CBI investigating the matter. Not a single
Binay wants to
word
respond.
that
Binay,
this is a gang rape. Not a
Binay
single
wants to
word
respond.
that there is a cover-up. It is only media's creation that there is a
media's
cover-up.
creation.
Yes.
Now, when the lapses are highlighted, it's a media creation. The fact that you have a Trinamool Congress councillor who says that I had gone there because the payment for the cremation has to be made. Abhaya's father and mother say that I do not even know who paid for the cremation. What was the need for a Trinamool Congress councillor? If you ask that question, you say that this is propaganda.
Shravan, according to Tausif, Supreme Court misjudged because there is some difference in the nomenclature. Police reached the spot late because there was a petrol pump strike in the state. Police was informed 2.5 hours late because there was a telephone network breakdown.
So is it the fault of police that it was informed 2.5 hours later?
The excuses
is it the
you
fault
are
of the police that the police was informed 2.5 hours later?
The CBI is still investigating the matter, and according to Tausif, the CBI
now you please tell me. Okay, fair enough, Niladri. At least one admission you have made. One admission you have made. If the police was informed late, is it the police's fault? Good question. Now answer this yourself. Then, if that is the case, then Dr. Sandeep Ghosh, why was he not questioned by the police?
Shravan, in the 4 days of investigation which the Calcutta police had, Calcutta police was recreating the scene of crime and questioning the possible suspects. Number one. Number two, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh is not accused of the rape and murder as it is. As far as I know, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh is accused of irregularities in Arjika, which is a different issue altogether.
Okay.
Let's not mix those.
I'm not mixing. Mixing. Who is Sandeep Ghosh? Now, who is Sandeep Ghosh?
As far as CBI doing even the 3D mapping of the so-called broken seminar hall, they have still not found anything.
Now, you please tell me why exactly Sandeep Ghosh shouldn't have been examined. I'm not saying he's guilty. All that I'm saying is that you have a murder that has taken place. The head of that institution, do you believe he or she shouldn't have been examined? Dr. Sandeep Ghosh is the principal of that institution. Don't you believe that he should have been examined? Don't you believe that he should have been examined and especially asked this question that there is a delay on the part of his authority, those who have been reporting to Dr. Sandeep Ghosh? Shouldn't that question be asked? At least two basic questions should have been asked. Question number one, why exactly did the hospital authorities tell the parents that this is a case of suicide? Question number two, that should have been asked to Dr. Sandeep Ghosh by the Kolkata police is whether at all there were certain instructions that were given to him as to why exactly did it take over 30 minutes. Over 30 minutes. I'm not even getting into specifics. So 2.5 hours. They make some reports suggest 2.5 hours. Why exactly an outpost which is barely few meters away? Why were they informed so late?
Suicide or murder or an unnatural death. Is it possible with bare eyes to know? Someone must have called. Who has called?
It takes 2.5 hours.
Don't know.
Niladri, it takes 2.5 hours. Whatever said and done, at least admit this. Niladri, you are a seasoned lawyer.
Even after 35 days, the CBI PP arrives late in court.
You are a seasoned lawyer. Niladri, you are a seasoned lawyer. Please tell me, please admit this much. That a scene of crime left unattended, even for a few minutes, could result in tampering of evidence.
Video recording.
That video recording was done after the insistence of colleagues of Abhaya.
No, within the first 12 hours.
Let CBI take it up. And I'm definitely sure it was not deliberate. The body was lying there. People went there. It may have been a lapse. It may have been a lapse of Calcutta police. But it is not something. It is not something but for which the commissioner should resign or the commissioner should be hanged.
Okay. Dr. Mondal, you've heard all sides. Tausif and Niladri are convinced that this is a watertight case. that was probed by the Kolkata police, despite the kind of lapses, we say that we are the ones who are indulging in propaganda, and the doctors who are on the streets are perhaps wasting their time by doing this?
No,
we have not said they're wasting their time. We have not said they're wasting time.
That
we stand in solidarity with the doctors.
We are standing in solidarity and then saying that give them the clean sheet. That's the brilliant dichotomy.
No, we don't say that. We don't say give them
let me finish.
Okay, Dr. Mondal, just one last comment from you.
Yes. KP should, Kolkata police should answer two main questions. One question is why police allowed few unauthorized persons in a crime scene of at that seminar room where the rape and murder happened after discovering the body. And question number 2, why the 7,000 people vandalized the Arjikar Medical College and wanted to enter the crime scene.
Well, that's a question that we have been asking for the last 30 days.
And Kolkata police.
Dr. Mondal, that's a question that we have been asking the Kolkata police and the likes of Tausif and Niladri for the last 30 days, but almost every one of them saying that's all that they could have done. That's the best that the Kolkata police could have done, because it's only 4 days. It's only 4 days that they could have, only 4 days of investigation that they've carried out. But gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that we'll still raise those questions. With every passing day, one or the other lapse is now tumbling out. Something that we will keep questioning. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we return to the ordeal of Bangladesh, and particularly the plight of minorities. The religious freedom that we have been talking about under the new interim government led by Muhammad Yunus. And who exactly is Muhammad Yunus? Just last week, viewers, Muhammad Yunus, the man the West would like us to believe is the Messiah, the reformist of Bangladesh, made a complete U-turn on the plight of minorities and particularly the Hindus. And this is what he says. The claims of targeting of Hindus is quote unquote exaggerated. Well, tonight I bring to you the grim reality that Bangladeshis are facing, persecuted Hindus are facing under this new interim formation. Officials from the Home Ministry in Bangladesh have now announced that all puja and musical instruments and sound systems must be turned off 5 minutes before the azaan and namaz timings during the upcoming Durga Puja festival. Ladies and gentlemen, this announcement in Bangladesh by the interim government is not only a direct attack on secularism in Bangladesh, but it also shows you the dire state of religious freedom of minorities in Bangladesh who no longer enjoy the liberty to celebrate their own festivals without curbs, without any restrictions. What is most intriguing is that it is not a Jamaat-led, BNP-led government that has come up with what is being called by the Bangladeshi Hindus as a Taliban-style dictate. It is the interim government of Muhammad Yunus that has increasingly, in the last few weeks, has turned into a patron of fundamentalist elements in Bangladesh, from pardons to closed-door meetings to now extreme diktats. These events are not isolated incidents that the interim government of Yunus wants to brush aside as insignificant. The trend is absolutely crystal clear. Be it torching housing of Hindus, look at how musician Rahul Ananda's house was torched to more than 205. Recorded incidents of violence targeting minorities to over 70 Hindu teachers being forced to leave their jobs by mobs of students. And Yunus wants us to believe that nothing has really happened. To incidents of places of worship and temples being targeted in various parts. Mr. Yunus must understand that the latest decree of his government is not just a reaction against Hindus who happen to be in the crossfire for being Awami League supporters. To his order of Home Department is a symptom of a larger backsliding of human rights of minorities in Bangladesh, which is not fueled by political vengeance, but by a fundamentalist agenda. And if fundamentalists are starting to dictate terms in Bangladesh, what does this mean for the national security of Bangladesh, of India, and the entire subcontinent by extension? Think about it, viewers, while you watch this report, and then we begin the debate.
Horrific stories of fatal attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh are surfacing every day. Ever since Muhammad Yunus, known for his close ties to the Democrats in America, has become the face of the interim government in Bangladesh, the minorities in Bangladesh since then have been witnessing a serious assault on their identity. From violent targeting of Hindu groups in the name of student protest, to Hindu teachers being made to allegedly sign prepared resignation letters by mobs of students.
যদি আমি সিগনেচার না করি তাহলে আমাকে ফিজিক্যাল হ্যারাসমেন্ট করবে।
To the Yunus government's alleged pardoning spree, to hardliners in Bangladesh, to the alleged meeting with anti-India terror elements, Yunus' every move in the last few days has jeopardized the lives of Hindus in the Islamic nation. Less than a week ago, in a recent interview to PTI, Yunus had claimed that India is exaggerating the attacks on Hindu minorities. However, in a shocking development, Bangladesh's Home Affairs advisor, Lieutenant General Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry, has declared that the puja committees should turn off Durga Puja rituals and sound systems 5 minutes before azaan.
আজান ও নামাজের সময় যেন কোনো বাদ্যযন্ত্র বা মাইকের ব্যবহার নিয়ন্ত্রণ রাখা মাইক সেই সময় বন্ধই রাখতে হবে। এটাও ভাই আমাদের সাথে এগ্রি করছে। আজানের কমের পক্ষে 5 মিনিট আগেই এই ধরনের কার্যকলাপ বন্ধ রাখতে হবে এবং নামাজ শেষ হওয়া পর্যন্ত এই ধরনের কার্যকলাপ বন্ধ রাখতে হবে। আর ভাই আমার সাথে আরও এগ্রি করছে এরা সবাই।
Reportedly, there has been as many as 205 cases of attacks on members of the minority communities in Bangladesh after August 5, with 5 confirmed cases of deaths. While Bangladesh is facing its worst economic crisis, is Dhaka too fixated on appeasing the radicals?
Mr. Bijan Kanti of the BNP, the interim government says that this is an exaggerated narrative that has been peddled by India. The Bangladesh Hindu, Buddhist, Christian Unity Council says 45 out of the 64 districts in the country witnessed targeted killings of Hindus. This is an organization which operates from Bangladesh, stating that 205 attacks have taken place in the last 40 days. Mr. Bijan Kanti, how exactly is this a propaganda by India?
This is totally a false propaganda.
I am not saying this. The Bangladeshi Hindu, Buddhist, Christian Unity Council is saying this.
That council is politically motivated. They are supporting government that
so Mr. Bijan Kanti, a short while back.
That was just 1 month ago.
A short while back.
They are always that government.
I think so,
that government has no way to come back.
I had a first-hand account. Okay, for a minute, let me put this out for you. For a minute,
yeah.
If I'm to believe what you are saying is correct, that this is a politically affiliated organization, so this is a misleading statement. Let me just tell you.
Yes.
30 minutes ago, I spoke to Hindus in Bangladesh on live television documenting what has happened. Now, will you label that also propaganda? I'll play this out. I'll play that interview for you. I'll play that interview for you.
You will find a lot of false documentations. And you were mentioning the teachers and other people were attacked and they were forced to resign. But you are not mentioning, in comparison to this, how much people of majority, that is Muslims, were forced to resign. This is an outburst of the mass movement. It was a movement against the Awami League, against a fascist government. And you have to accept those things. Because people are not controlled by the anyway.
Mr. Salahuddin, you've heard what the BNP has to say, that now it's becoming a situation like every incident that has taken place, anyone who is saying anything about the minorities in Bangladesh is now simply being labelled as this, that you are a propagandist, either you are part of the Awami League, either you are pro-Sheikh Hasina. But the reality is this, even if we are documenting and putting it out for Bijan Kanti, what is extremely disheartening is that you are not even acknowledging that yes, minorities have been targeted. That's the unfortunate part. Salahuddin, you are also from Bangladesh. I want you to tell all our viewers what's really happening on the ground.
You are telling about the minorities, but these people, those who are attacked, they are not only the minorities. They are the activists of the fascist government.
So that's good enough for them to be targeted, even if they are activists. Even Mr. Bijan Kanti, for Mr. Muhammad Yunus, who's seen as the poster boy of the West, someone who's a beacon of peace, who said that we will bring an end to autocracy. If that is the case, this is what his example of bringing about peace in Bangladesh is like. Where you have diktats like this, that Hindus will not be able to perform their own rituals, that before the azaan, before namaz, they should end all their rituals.
It was practiced in our country from many years ago. During the time of azaan, during the time of the prayer,
Radharaman Das, Mr. Salahuddin, we must control our
okay,
Mr. Salahuddin,
I'd like to tell
two such incidents have happened. Two such incidents that have happened in the last few days, and you've had the BNP and various others from the interim government saying that this is a practice that has been going on for years. So what is the problem?
It is true that this kind of the practice, the attack on Hindus, it has been happening during.
No, they are saying that if the rituals are being stopped before azan, this has happened in the past. So why there should be no problem? Accept it, live with it.
I am coming to the point. And these rituals should be paused. It is also happening during the past government, because all governments are Muslim government. You should remember that. But I would like to raise one very important issue here. When you are talking about persecution of minorities, and you are saying it's not persecution of minorities, but it is a political matter, then I would like to bring here the case of Utshav Mandal, the Hindu boy who was mercilessly beaten inside the police station by a mob of Islamists. And his condition was so
Mr. Bijan Kanti, is that propaganda? Is Mr. Salahuddin, what he is saying is also propaganda? And Mr. Radharaman also. Mr. Radharaman Das is a respected individual. Radharaman Das, the Vice President of ISKCON, Vice President of ISKCON is a respected individual. Mr. Radharaman Das, Bijan Kanti is saying that what you are saying, and I want to have Bijan Kanti as well, Radharaman Das on air right now. Radharaman Das, you've called this as a Talibani diktat, but according to Mr. Bijan Kanti, you are a propagandist.
I am very shocked. Actually, the Bangladeshi government, according to their own survey, the Hindu population has declined from 29% to now almost around 7%. So this is the data of Bangladeshi government. Dhaka University, they conducted a survey, and they are telling that the Hindu population has declined from 29% to 7%. So this is not our data. This is what the Bangladesh government has declared. And it is very shocking to be in denial mode. We saw what happened in 2022 during Durga Puja. Somebody, some person, he just made some false allegation, and he himself actually planted the book, and then there were riots, and hundreds of Hindus' houses were burnt, women were raped. And Mr.
Bijan Kanti, you heard, but Mr. Radharaman Das, you've heard what BNP leader Mr. Bijan Kanti is saying. Bijan Kanti is saying that these are activists. These are activists who have been targeted.
Mr. Radharaman, I am not denying the statement of Mr. Radharaman, but it is not the case of Dr. Yunus' government. It is because of many other regions. It is from very old.
Are you
from very
justifying, Mr. Bijan Kanti? I have not heard, from the time that you've joined the debate, I have not heard a single word of condemnation. Not a single word of condemnation. Innocent lives have been lost, even if they were activists. Even if they were activists of the Awami League. For the sake of argument, even if they were activists of the Awami League, please tell me something. Are you now justifying bloodshed on the streets
of... It was a continuous process in our country. Sometimes these things are occurred. But
these things occur. Now, according to you, these things occur.
Government. It is not due to
how is it any different? How is it any different from the government that you were fighting all this while? How are you any different? If you are not being able to protect the lives of innocent lives, not just Hindus, but the fact of the matter, there are other minorities who have also been targeted. If you can't protect them, how exactly are you saying that this is absolutely okay, that this happens?
You are always telling the life of minorities. It was not the life of minorities. It was the life of the people of the country. Because of political.
I have Masroor Maula.
Matters politically. It is not only for the minorities. The majority peoples were also disturbed. They were also attacked. They were also facing the problems. But it is not only for the minorities. Okay, nothing should be done. Everything should be stopped. But
Mr. Masroor, I'll just request you to...
In case of the fall of a fascist government and the outburst of the people.
Okay, Bijan Kanti, let me also bring in Masroor Maula. Masroor Maula is the Special Envoy for International Affairs, Jatiyo Party. Masroor, I'll just request you to stay a little stable for us to get your right frame. Yes. Mr. Masroor, Radharaman Das, a respected individual from Bangladesh, has already called this diktat that we saw earlier in the day.
I am from Kolkata.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, Mr. Radharaman Das, I got that wrong. But you have spoken about the diktat of the interim government. Masroor Maula, please tell me, every number that we have quoted, according to Bijan Kanti and many others, this is a list of propaganda. I'm told that Mr. Masroor Maula, there's a problem with his connectivity. I'll take this question to Mufti Manzoor. Mufti Manzoor, you've heard the BNP gentleman making a point here. BNP gentleman says that, look, this is all about politics. So somewhere down the line, he's not really denying the fact that this is happening in Bangladesh. Now, you tell me, isn't this persecution for those who have been saying democracy is in danger in India, should actually now wake up and see what's really happening in the subcontinent?
ट्रू मैं इस्कॉन के जो जिम्मेदार शख्स हैं उन्होंने जो बातें कही हैं मैं अग्री करता हूं और इस तरीके की जो चीजें वहां पर हुई हैं उसकी दिल से भी हम सबको मिलकर के डिनाई करना चाहिए और उसे पूरी दुनिया में उन्हें माफी मांगना चाहिए। बांग्लादेश हुकूमत ने जिस तरीके से माइनॉरिटीज के साथ जुल्म और ज्यादती की है इसकी कहीं पर भी जायज इसको नहीं कहा जा सकता। एक सूरत यह होती है कि मुल्क के अंदर में होने वाले फसादात वहां के माइनॉरिटीज को तहफ्फुज़ फराहम करना यहाँ की गवर्नमेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी, लेकिन उस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को ना शेख हसीना ने कबूल किया, ना ही एक्सेप्ट किया और ना ही उस पर अमल किया और ना ही ये शेख यूनुस साहब कर रहे हैं। वहां के मुसलमानों के साथ साथ जिम्मेदारी मुसलमानों की भी बनती है कि वो वहां के हिंदू भाइयों को जो कि अकलियत में है उनका शुमार हो रहा है उनको प्रोटेक्ट करना वहां के मुसलमानों की जिम्मेदारी है। और मैंने एक फोटो और वीडियो वहां का देखा, इस्कॉन के जिम्मेदार साहब से मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि वहां के मदरसे के बच्चों ने मंदिरों की हिफाजत के लिए लाठी डंडे लेकर रात भर खड़े रहे हैं वहां पर। ये एक नक्शा भी वहां से हमें देखने को मिला। लेकिन कुल मिलाकर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बांग्लादेश हुकूमत की बनती है कि वहां के अकलियत को तहफ्फुज़ फराहम करना, वहां के माइनॉरिटी को सेफ्टी देना, ये उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। अगर वो देने में नाकाम है तो हमारे ऊपर उंगली उठाने या हमसे कुछ बात कहने की उन्हें बिल्कुल हेज है उसका कहना कुछ भी। तो हमें चाहिए एक मिसाल कायम होना चाहिए। हिंदुस्तान में हम लोग तहफ्फुज़ के साथ हैं, बहुत ही अच्छे से यहाँ पर रह रहे हैं। हम पर जो लोग उंगलियां उठाते हैं उनको भी जवाब है ये कि देखो वहां पर क्या हो रहा है माइनॉरिटीज के साथ में, लेकिन हम अपने मुल्क में बहुत ही सेफ अच्छे से हैं, हम पर उंगलियां उठाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है। और बांग्लादेश की जैसी चाइना के सपोर्टिंग हुकूमत को ये समझ लेना चाहिए कि ये बांग्लादेश में जिस तरह हो रहा है वो दुनिया में मैसेज जाएगा जो बिल्कुल खतरनाक होगा और बहुत ही बेकार होगा। इसलिए को अब भी सबक लेना चाहिए, होश के नाखून लेने की जरूरत है।
Mr. Bijan Kanti, your party has always targeted India in the past too. Back in 2024, your party organized a protest which replicated the India Out campaign that we saw in Maldives. The reality is this, where the government had made it very clear, Indian government has been clear that we will be talking to those who are in power, and the fact that we are in favor of peace in the subcontinent. But please tell me, when you are releasing Jashimuddin Rahmani, how exactly do you think anyone would be in a position to talk to anyone in Bangladesh? Mr. Bijan Kanti.
I am not getting the sound.
Okay, I'll just try and reconnect with you, but let me take this to Mr. Masroor Maula. Mr. Masroor Maula, at the start of the debate, I put out a testimony of Bangladeshi Hindus who have been persecuted. I put out the data from an organization operating out of Bangladesh. You have Mr. Salahuddin, who has been documenting what's happening in various districts in Bangladesh. But still this seems to be propaganda. How exactly is this a propaganda when the reality is this, that you have actually seen Kolapada's Municipal Mayor Bipul Haldar's house that was ransacked, set on fire. Private car that was parked outside his house was torched. Ananta Mukherjee's home, the Radhakrishna temple adjacent to it, was attacked by a mob of 20 to 25 people. A clothing store that was owned by Hindu was also set on fire. How exactly all of this is just simply propaganda, exaggerated narrative?
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the stage to speak out. First of all, let me tell you, whatever the news you have seen from the media or from other people, these are, most of the news are propaganda.
How is it propaganda? Please counter me with facts. I have put out testimonies. I have spoken to Bangladeshi Hindus. I have interviewed them a short while back. How exactly is this propaganda?
The few informations which are saying, burning the temples and all those things, all these are done by the Army cadres. Why they were doing it? That is because to keep the government unrest. These are, because basically I will tell you, the interim government is very much.
Okay, Mr. Masroor, there seems to be some problem with your connectivity. We'll try and reconnect with it. Sir, Mr. Salahuddin, I want to give you one quick word, and then Mr. Radharaman Das also. Salahuddin, you've heard both the BNP leader as well as Masroor. Both seem to say that there is a political angle to it, and hence this is actually happening.
This is what they're saying. They belong to the same party. Yunus, BNP and Jati Party, they are from the same party. Now I would like to ask everyone one question. That Ushav Mandal was beaten mercilessly, admitted to the hospital, almost dead, and they have already filed a case under the Digital Security Act, Cyber Security Act against the same Ushav Mandal, but there is no case against the attackers who beat him inside the police station. What does that mean? Because Ushav Mandal is a Hindu, he has no rights, no human rights, he can be beaten. Ushav Mandal represents the Hindu. So it proves that Hindus can be beaten anywhere. They can be beaten to death, no problem. And even if he's alive, survives the assault, there is again a case against him. But why there is no
Mr. Salahuddin, you've managed to evoke some response from Masroor. Mr. Masroor, go ahead, make your point.
Yes. That is, you see, the news which I've seen, burning those houses, and you're talking about protecting Hindus. You see, the interim government is very much careful about protecting the Hindus as well as other religions. Whatever you have seen, these are done by the army cadres. Why? To keep the country unrest. You see, our Bangladesh army as well as our other intelligence tools, they are very much protecting. And because of the puja is near, so that is the reason
Mr. Radharaman Das, Mr. Radharaman Das,
the government.
Do you accept the justification? Do you accept the justification that Mr. Masroor is saying?
Because you have heard a lot of propaganda.
You cannot call Mr. Radharaman Das a propagandist.
No, that is not true. Hindus are 100% safe. Better than, you see, when the previous.
I'm running out of time, Mr. Radharaman Das. Do you accept this justification?
Situation on ground is very bad. Reports every day we are getting terrible news from Bangladesh. And we are really afraid that now in few 20
Mr.
days,
Radharamandas,
Durga
I'm
Puja
sorry,
going to
I'm
start.
sorry, I'm sorry I had to interrupt you because I'm really running short of time. But this is an issue. This is an issue that we will keep raising, because what has essentially happened is that this is now becoming the other issue that has been brushed aside, and the fact that when temples are being burnt, when Hindus are being targeted, you have political parties in Bangladesh and the poster boy of the West essentially trying to tell you that it is exaggerated in nature. But that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up at 9 p.m, once again, Rahul Gandhi ends up doing the unthinkable, siding with a congresswoman who was batting for Pakistan for all this time. Coming up at 9 p.m. with Abhishek Kapoor.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath and Light.
2 cappuccinos to go. I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
Rahul Gandhi is traveling abroad once again, and he has a right to do so. He's talking in, all kinds of, American universities. He has a right to do so, but he must be careful about what he's talking about. And my suggestion is always this, and not just to Rahul Gandhi: if you don't know your facts, don't open your mouth. Don't pontificate. Don't try to pontificate when you don't know the ABC of a subject. One way of looking at the way Rahul Gandhi talks is that it's laughable. But then you see, he's become leader of the opposition. So he holds a constitutional position. And it is baffling that a person holding that position should speak in such an amateurish way. Sam Petroda says Rahul Gandhi is not a pappu, he's a strategic thinker, but he admits that often it's difficult to understand him. On that last point, I agree with Sam Petroda. Now, Rahul Gandhi's latest, he's made many points, including saying things like Islam is not an Indian religion, I'm told, etc. But I don't want to get into his views on spirituality and who is a god and who is not, and how a person becomes.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Good evening and welcome, friends. Filling in for Arnab Goswami this Wednesday. Years ago, growing up as an adolescent, I remember reading a book by American inspirational author Swet Marden. The book was about achieving success in life and applied common sense principles and virtues that make for a well-rounded, successful life. The bedrock of the principles was positive thinking. As in an individual's, so in a nation's life. Positive thinking acts as the lifeblood of progress. There's one person who is in dire need of that book, perhaps. Rahul Gandhi suffers from a serious psychological handicap. His thoughts on India his country and yours and mine are full of depressive self-doubt. The negative thoughts come out with particular ferocity when he's traveling abroad, like his ongoing visit to the United States. From suggesting that Bangladesh has beaten us flat on textiles, to truck drivers in the USA getting better respect than back home, to China leaving us nowhere on manufacturing, to the West. Imagine, the West doing better than us on democracy. Rahul has had a catharsis of negativity. Two developments have taken place in the last 24 hours. One, Rahul Gandhi has met Ilhan Omar, that very rabidly anti-India US Congresswoman on the left fringe of DC establishment in the United States. I have it from sources that in the meeting, Rahul did not raise a whimper on